Mars orbit turning upside down. Gravity is spinning me the whole way around. I could use some deeper roots and solid ground. Moving forward, back and forth, just get me out. I am not afraid of what's inside of me, only scared of what is just beyond my reach. And I've got a feeling that that's you, baby. Seasons change and rearrange our chemistry. So far, so close. We pull and we push. Don't let me go. If we can be good, don't always know what goodbye's gonna be. The seasons change, and so do we. Take a breath in.
Good afternoon. I'm just gripping my fringe back because I have just filmed my 2K Q&A part 1 and it was in my eyes the whole time. I'm trying to love it. I do enjoy having a fringe. I think it looks good, but it just gets on my nerves. So there we go. Like I say, I've just filmed part 1 of my Q&A, which I believe you'll be getting on, well, it depends. If I film part 2 in time, you'll get one on Wednesday and one on Saturday next week. If I don't film it in time, you'll get just one on Saturday. I don't know. It's all up in the air right now. I'm trying to spread out content. But yeah, I still haven't read anything. But I thought I would take the advantage when I had made myself look a little bit more human to put my face on a camera. So, what have I been up to this week? Like I say, I still haven't read much. I have started listening to the Thursday Murder Club on audiobook. It's on BorrowBox, which I get via my library, and I am enjoying it. I started to try and read the paperback, I would say 5 times over the past year. I've picked it up, not got very far. I've got further now than I've got with the paperback. And like I say, I'm starting to enjoy it, but I don't know. I just found with reading it physically, the first kind of 100 pages, a bit of a slog to get through. And then it didn't help that I'd stop reading it, come back a few months later and read that bit again. So I am reading that. I am also still reading lots of other stuff, including Burnout, which is a book by Emily and Amelia Nagoski. I think Emily is well known for the book Come As You Are, which I haven't read yet, but I'm really enjoying it, and they're really good at being inclusive. I think I've said this in a vlog before. They're talking about closing out the stress cycle, and one of the big things that they talk about is exercise, but they are also very conscious of the fact that with a chronic illness, it's not always as easy as just exercise. I got really stressed out the other day, and not that I think the people involved watch my channel, because I'm pretty sure most people from my real life don't watch this channel, but there is a member of my extended family that I had to have a bit of an argument with because of something that they have been doing for a long time. Basically, is it resolved? Sort of. Time will tell. Actions speak louder than words. So I think that a one-time mistake, we all say things that we don't mean or are taken out of context. But if someone keep showing you who they are, then let them. And this person will not be in my life for much longer, put it that way. It is someone that I have to tolerate, but I am not going to let them take any of my energy, because of this argument I had 24 hours of horrendous pain, and they are not worth it. But yeah, I have said my piece. I was going to say to you, while I've not been reading, I have been reading a lot of magazines via Readly. Now, this is going to sound like a sponsored ad. It's not. I would love Readly to sponsor me and pay me, but they don't. I pay them every month. But Readly is $9.99 a month, and you get access to hundreds of magazines. Let me just get magazines up. So I've got mine set to all categories and all countries that have their magazines in English. And if I just scroll, literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of magazines. I'm a little bit on the fence with women's magazines, especially because, for example, I'll tell you in a minute a couple of the articles that I've really enjoyed this month. I don't know whether to put this in kind of monthly or weekly. Let me know if you enjoy me talking about this. But I read, so one of the articles that I enjoyed, have I saved it in the right place? Yes. So one of the articles that I read was in Red magazine in their June 2023 issue, and it is Jessie Nealand, who is non-binary and goes by they and them pronouns, has written or spoken to someone. I don't really know how these things work. Is it that Jessie themselves has written this? Probably more like an interview style. But Jessie has a book coming out called Body Neutral, and so the article itself is all about body neutrality, which I really enjoyed reading. Obviously we hear a lot about body positivity, but where is it that there was something that I read that I really, I'm not going to be able to find it now, but basically I thought it worked really well with someone like me at the moment who is struggling with my body, and instead of trying to be all like body positive, I love my body, just being able to take the feelings away that my body is what it is and my body doesn't make my worth any less. So Jessie's book is out in June, so I'm hoping to pick it up. Let me just see if I can find this bit that I wanted to read you. Oh, here we go. It says, body neutrality doesn't insist on removing your preference for another body. If you live in a fat body in a society that is not built for or accepting of the dignity of fat bodies, you might never prefer it, Neelan explains. But when you can recognise that you want your body to be different without believing that you are the problem and your body is betraying you, it takes the sting out of it. From a body neutral place, you can say, this society is causing me to wish I were different, but I'm not the problem. That changes everything. And yeah, I really loved that article. My issue with women's magazines is I can sit and read this fantastic article in a magazine about body issues and body neutrality and body positivity, and yet if I scroll through the fashion pages in that same magazine, every photo will be a typical fashion model. There will be no diversity. So how can a magazine be selling me these fantastic articles but not practicing what they preach? That doesn't sit right with me. And that's why I think that I love the internet as a place, because the internet does champion to an extent. I mean, I know that especially on Instagram, I've deleted my Instagram at the moment, by the way, although I can try and see diverse bodies, my explore page is still a shit show. But yeah, there was another article that I read in Red magazine, and that is called The Politics of Bookshelves, and I really, really enjoyed this one. It was talking about how online people are being snobs again, as they always are, about rainbow bookshelves. And as you can see, I mean, these are in the way now because of what I've just filmed, but it was talking about how does someone preferring their books in a certain aesthetic make them any less of a reader. I really hate this policing on what a reader is anyway, but I really enjoyed it. And I did think, actually, I have been guilty of this myself. Like, why should it bother me what anybody does with their books? But there was an aesthetic a couple of years ago, I think, where people turned all their books the wrong way around so that it was all monochrome. And to me, I was like, really? But that's just my preference. So yeah, I really enjoyed both of those articles. And then I read in April's Diva magazine a article about being queer but have never dated a woman. And if you know, I have always, I'd say secretly, identified as a bisexual, but actually the more I read about different identities, I don't know, I basically believe that I have the capacity to love someone regardless of gender, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of body parts. I fall in love with the person, and it doesn't matter to me whether they are trans, non-binary, male, female. So yeah, and yet I also have never been in a relationship with a woman. I am married to Tom. I'm happily married to Tom, and have been for, I'm sorry, I haven't forgotten how long I've been married. There's a bird that just keeps flying past the window. Have been happily married to Tom for 10 years now. And it was all about kind of how your external life doesn't change internally who you know you are. And I think sometimes I'm more or less openly queer online, but in day-to-day life, I'm seen with Tom and assumed to be straight, and I don't feel the need to come out to everyone that I meet and say, actually I'm queer. But then it feels a little bit disingenuous then. I really feel for the rest of the LGBTQ plus community who don't have that kind of assumed straightness to hide behind. Like, I have the privilege of being in a straight passing relationship, so I haven't dealt with any of the like homophobia, transphobia that comes with being part of those spaces. But at the same time, that doesn't negate my identity. And so yeah, that was really nice to read in Diva magazine, because there is always this little nugget of me not being queer enough. I have rambled for nearly 20 minutes now. Like I say, let me know if you've enjoyed this conversation, because this is just some thoughts going through in my mind. I can stick to just talking about books and B-roll footage if you want, but I have enjoyed, I've just enjoyed that little ramble. I feel like I've got a few things off my chest, and I think I'm going to end the vlog here because I can't see myself getting dressed for the next couple of days. I can already feel my body going, get yourself back on the sofa. So I hope you've enjoyed this vlog, and if you have, give me a comment below, and until next time, look after yourselves. Bye.